Madam, can you kindly explain that Z table again, madam? Is it possible?
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Madam?
Hello, am I audible?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good
Yes, madam.
evening. Any doubt related to previous classes?
Madam, can you kindly explain that
What you want to get explained? Please tell.
calculation, madam?
Calculation of which question?
Chapter 1, madam. I will tell you the number.
Okay, please let me know the question number.
Okay.
Please let me know the question number. Meanwhile, I'm starting the next chapter. Please find the question, what you want to get explained in chapter 1 and let me know that. Now part B is left out. So part B we will cover in 2 days. Today for part B, chapter 4 theory. Chapter 4, this is financial market. Theory of this chapter we will discuss, and chapter 5 having almost 30 questions. So till 15th question, half of the questions, practical questions of chapter 5 we will do today, and the rest we will discuss in next class. That is chapter 5 theory and practical questions from 16th to 30th. So today we will discuss about this chapter 4 theory and practical questions from chapter 5 illustration 1 to 15. That will be convenient to prepare. So 2 chapters are there in part B, chapter 4 and 5. Starting with the theory first, chapter 4 theory. In this chapter we have to study about financial system. That is, financial system comprises of 3 main components: financial market, financial intermediaries, and financial regulators. So financial market, structural approach. In the theory it is given, what is the structural approach? Means what the financial system comprises of what components. So here it is written 3 main components: financial market, intermediaries, and regulators. So structural approach, 3 components. Structural approach means what is the structure of financial system. So financial system comprises of financial market, financial intermediaries, and financial regulators, 3 main components. Apart from this, 2 more components we have in financial system, that is financial instrument and services. So overall we can say Indian financial system is divided into 2 categories. One is formal system and another is informal system. Informal system that will comprise money lenders, bankers, local bank, traders. If there is flow of money between Money lenders, that is local bankers, traders, and general money lender, that is informal. Another is formal system that we have to study here, that is formal financial system, organized financial system. So according to the structural approach, three we have seen, that is three main components: financial market, intermediaries, and regulators. But two more are there. So we can say there are five components: regulators, financial market, financial instrument, financial services, and financial intermediaries, that is financial institution. The diagram is given, the detail is given in the book. This is the diagram we are discussing. So Indian financial system, five components, three main components, that is financial market, financial intermediaries, and financial regulators. Two more components are there, financial instruments and services. Now, what is the meaning of these five components? That we will discuss. So, starting with the financial instrument first. What is financial instrument? Okay, I will discuss Anand, page 69. I have noted this one, page 69. We will discuss after doing this one. In the meanwhile, we will discuss this question also. Page 69, that is Z distribution. Let us complete this theory. After that, we will discuss this question. So, financial instrument, five components, starting with the financial instrument. Financial instrument, or we can say financial assets. These are intangible assets like securities, shares, bonds, and these are expected to provide future benefits in the form of interest and dividend. What we get from bonds and stocks, that we get interest and dividend. So financial assets, these are intangible assets and these are expected to provide future benefit. Hello? Bhavna, are you saying something? Financial assets or instruments, these are intangible assets and these are expected to provide future benefits. Now, example, financial instruments, securities like stocks and bonds. So, financial assets, it has been categorized under two heads, primary securities and secondary securities. Now, what are primary securities? These are bonds, stocks issued by the borrowers directly. Primary securities, shares, bonds are issued by borrowers and these are issued in secondary market and issued by financial intermediaries, that is financial institutions like bank deposits. So financial assets under primary securities and secondary securities. Primary securities issued by borrowers and these are issued by banks and financial institutions and intermediaries, that is bank and financial institutions. So far we have seen financial instrument, one component. And it is given in the book financial instrument in the starting. When you will read the theory in detail, it is given here. Financial asset. This we have discussed, financial asset.
Number, madam. Kindly tell the page
Page
number.
number starting from, I have written the page number in the PPT also, and we will discuss in the last. For all the questions, I have written the page number. Meaning of financial market, page number 85. For the theory questions, I have written the page number also so that you can study at home in detail. You can read the theory of that. So in brief, we will discuss the theory and then it will be convenient for you to read at home. Please unmute your mic. आप अपने माइक्स म्यूट कर लें, जब आपको बोलना हो तो आप अनम्यूट करें, so that आवाज डिस्टरबेंस ना हो, आप सभी को क्लियरली सुनाई दे. Now next one, we were discussing financial instruments. Financial instrument in starting of the theory, it is given here, financial system, structural approach, three main components, and then what is financial asset? Definition is written here. This we will discuss later. Now next one, financial services. 5 components we are discussing. One is financial instrument, second is financial services. Now what is the meaning of financial services? These are the services provided by asset management and liability management company like leasing company, mutual fund, merchant banker. What are the services they are providing? This one is financial service. That is, financial services are services provided by asset management and liability management companies like leasing, mutual funds, bankers, merchant bankers. And what are the services they provide? These are the primary functions provided by them. That is, how to get the fund and how to utilize the fund in efficient manner. That is, efficient way of investment. Now next one, managing risk exposures. So these are the functions, some of the functions provided by financial, these companies as known as financial services. So financial services, services provided by companies, that is asset management company. Now financial asset is this one. Third component, 2 we have seen. Next one, financial market. So next one is financial market. Now financial market, before that it is written in the book in the starting itself, functional approach. So 2 terms are given here, structural approach of financial system and another is functional approach. So structural approach means what is the structure of financial system. So 3 main components and 2 other components that we have seen. 3 main components, these 3 regulators, market and institutions, 2 other components. Now what is the meaning of functional approach? Functional approach means what are the major functions of these 3? That is the meaning of functional approach. So here I have written financial system, functional approach of 3 main components. One is financial market. Market helps in flow of fund. Financial intermediaries. Financial intermediaries acts as mediator and regulators helps in regulation of flow of fund. Now 3 components we will discuss now. First one is financial market. So what is the meaning of financial market? That is the financial market. Here the creation and transfer of financial assets occur. That is creation and transfer of financial assets. These are held in financial market. Now financial market helps in flow of fund from lender to borrower. What are the types of financial market? Money market, capital market, foreign exchange market and credit market. In these markets, funds are flowing from lender to borrower. Now money market, capital market, foreign exchange market, these markets we will discuss in next chapter, that is given in chapter 5. Chapter 5 में हमें डिटेल दिया है money market and capital market का. We will discuss there these details. In this chapter only the classification is given, that is what is the major classification of financial market. Financial market, 4 types of market generally: money market, capital, foreign exchange and credit market. But major classification will be for capital market and money market, that is given in the study map. So financial market, major classification, capital market and money market. Now capital market again into equity and debt market. Equity market then again primary, secondary market, derivative market. And derivative market, future and option, that is index future and stock future and option. Primary market, it can be domestic and international. Now debt market, primary and secondary, money market, primary and secondary. But this detail of this financial market, money market and capital market, we will discuss in chapter 5. Till this point, only the classification, major classification. Next one is next component of financial system is financial institutions. 3 we have seen. One is financial market, financial assets, and financial services. These 3 we have seen. Now, what is financial institutions? Financial institutions, these are the mediator inflow of fund. So financial institutions here, banking sector and non-banking sector. This diagram I have taken from page number 100. That what are the functions of banking system and non-banking system. That is, financial institutions have been categorized as banking sector and non-banking sector. Now, banking sector, what are the functions of banking sector? Acceptance of deposits from public, credit creation in market, advancing loans, and use of check system, remittance of fund. Non-banking, agency, and general utility services. These are banking and non-banking functions. But detail we will discuss from the book itself. After financial institutions, next one is financial regulator. 5 component, last one is financial regulators. So financial regulators means these help in monitoring and regulating the participants in financial system. That is, monitor and regulate. Financial regulators regulate the entire financial system. So what are the financial regulators? Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Ministry of Corporate Affairs, that is regulation of companies, and finance, that is regulation of SEBI and RBI. Now in this chapter we have to study about RBI, that is regulation of RBI as a regulator. From the book we have discussed now. Now we will see in the study mat. First is structural approach, functional approach, that is flow of fund from this banking sector forms, that is the flow of fund. Financial asset, definition of asset. Functions we will discuss. What are the functions of financial market, that we will discuss now. RBI regulation is given from here. That is RBI as a regulator. 4.2. Now RBI regulation under this. First one is what is the management and structure of RBI? What are the departments and of RBI? Market, research, regulation, services, and support. Now some of the sub-departments given here for market, internal debt management, whatever you can remember, just remember that one. Market, under market, internal debt management department, external investment department, monetary policy and financial market department, so on for research, supervision, services, and support. Number of departments are, these are the sub-departments and these are the major departments. So this one is the structure of RBI, departments here, and this one is sub-department. Now what are the functions of RBI? These are the prime functions. One is monetary authority, issue of currencies, banker and debt manager to government, bankers to bank. These are the functions. So we will discuss the major functions. First one is monetary authority. This one we are discussing monetary authority. What are the functions of RBI under monetary authority? That is regulation of monetary policies. So main objective of monetary policies, maintaining price stability, flow of credit and financial stability. Now how does RBI maintains the financial stability in the economy? That is with the help of two instruments, direct and indirect. So the question for it can be, what are the tools used by RBI for the regulation of monetary policy or as a monetary authority? What are the tools used by RBI for regulation of monetary policy or as a monetary authority? So this can be the question for this one. Theory question for this one can be, this is what are the tools used by RBI? So these are the tools under direct instrument and indirect instrument. For the direct instrument, three tools: cash reserve ratio, SLR, statutory liquidity ratio, and refinance facility. This one is the major topic, so I will discuss this one. The easier one I will leave. Otherwise सारा theory पढ़ाऊंगी तो lecture आपके लिए काफी boring हो जाएगा. Instrument, direct instrument, three instruments here: cash reserve ratio, SLR, and refinance scheme. So what is the meaning of cash reserve ratio? That is the minimum reserve to be maintained by commercial bank with RBI. जब आप अकाउंट खुलवाते हैं बैंक में तो आपको भी डिपॉजिट करना होता है मिनिमम बैलेंस. सो CRR is minimum balance to be maintained by commercial bank with RBI. That will be in the form of cash. SLR is statutory liquidity ratio. That is the minimum reserve to be maintained by bank in the form of liquid assets. That liquid assets can be gold, that can be government securities. So these are the minimum balance. SLR is minimum balance maintained in the form of liquid asset, and it is maintained in the form of cash. Now refinance scheme. But the question arises how CRR can be the direct tool in how it can act in regulation of monetary policy. CRR कैसे यूज करता है RBI? तो आप जब theory इसका पढ़ेंगे, that will be however I will summarize this one. CRR,
both the tools are required to be maintained with RBI.
Both the tools are
Required to be maintained with RBI.
These are the two, CRR and SLR.
Yes.
CRR, yes, that is in the form of cash, and this one will be maintained in the form of liquid asset.
So the cash needs to be deposited with RBI, and the liquid assets, the cash, gold, or government securities, these both needs to be deposited with RBI.
Yes, these two are to be deposited by the commercial bank with RBI. But here we have to study how these are used to maintain the, that is maintain the inflation and deflation. That is cash reserve ratio. If the cash reserve ratio is increased by RBI, that is the commercial bank will be required to deposit more money with RBI, and they will have lesser amount of money left to lend to the public. कैश रिजर्व रेशियो अगर इंक्रीज होता है आरबीआई का तो उस केस में बैंक, कमर्शियल बैंक के पास कम होगा, जो पब्लिक के लिए कम होगा उनके पास फंड अवेलेबल. तो कैश रिजर्व रेशियो दैट इज यूज्ड इन दिस वे. एसएलआर, सेम वे एसएलआर कैन बी यूज्ड. एसएलआर अगर ज्यादा होगा तो उस केस में बैंक्स के पास कम होगा, अमाउंट लेफ्ट आउट कम होगा. एंड रीफाइनेंस स्कीम, दैट इज refinancing the loan that RBI allows the commercial bank to refinance loans. Now indirect instruments, what are other instruments that can be used by RBI to maintain the monetary policy? These can be, first one, repo rate, reverse repo, OMO, that these are the methods. LAF, repo, and reverse repo, open market operation, MSF, bank rate, and marginal stabilization scheme. These are the indirect instrument. So indirect instrument, what is repo rate? That is rate at which bank borrows money from RBI. This is the rate at which bank borrows money from RBI by providing securities. Now, how the process of repo, what is the process under repo? That is, repo means repurchase option. I think it is not given in detail here. Repo rate, that is simply we can say the rate at which bank borrows, that is commercial bank borrows money in the case of, if in the case they have lesser, they have deficit balance, they can borrow from RBI and it is borrowed at repo rate. That is commercial bank borrows from RBI at repo rate. Reverse repo, that is the rate at which bank lends. That means it is the rate at which RBI borrows from bank if they have excess money. If the commercial bank has the excess money, it can deposit with RBI and RBI, that is the reverse repo rate will be paid on that. That is reverse repo rate at which bank lends. That is the RBI borrows at this reverse repo. Repo rate is higher than reverse repo. Repo rate at which commercial bank borrows and reverse repo is the rate at which RBI borrows from commercial bank. तो मार्केट में जब आपको इन्फ्लेशन अगर ज्यादा होता है, इन दैट केस रेपो रेट अगर इंक्रीज होगा तो बैंक बोरोइंग, उसकी बोरोइंग रेट बैंक के लिए ज्यादा हो जाएगा. रेपो रेट एंड रिवर्स रेपो. In short, now what is OMO? That is open market operation. That is open market operation relates to sale and purchase of what? That is government securities. Sale and purchase of government securities by RBI. When it will sell the government securities? When there is excess liquidity in the market, it will absorb the excess liquidity by selling the government securities. And purchase when there is low liquidity in the market. जब मार्केट में लिक्विडिटी कम होगा, गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज आरबीआई आपको परचेज करेगा. एंड व्हेन देयर इज एक्सेस लिक्विडिटी इन द मार्केट, इट विल बी सोल्ड. दैट इज गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज विल बी सोल्ड. तो आप कैश जो है डिपॉजिट करते हैं. OMO, that is sale and purchase of government securities. Now next one, liquidity adjustment facility, LAF, that is to adjust liquidity with the help of repo and reverse repo rate. Now what is bank rate? That is the rate at which bank borrows from RBI without providing any securities. Means rate at which commercial bank borrows from RBI. That is bank rate. But now repo rate, and what is the difference between repo and bank rate? In the case of bank rate, here securities are not provided by commercial bank to RBI. यहाँ पे securities नहीं देना होता है. Simply lending by commercial, borrowing by commercial bank from RBI at this bank rate. Repo rate में जब आप पूरा process करेंगे, what is repo, how it is done, how the process occurs, तो उस केस में जब कमर्शियल बैंक बोरो करता है आरबीआई से, तो आपको सिक्योरिटीज प्रोवाइड करनी होती है कमर्शियल बैंक को. दैट इज रेपो. सो इन द केस ऑफ रेपो, रेपो रेट इज ऑल्सो द रेट ऑफ बोरोइंग एंड बैंक रेट इज ऑल्सो द रेट ऑफ बोरोइंग बाय द कमर्शियल बैंक. बट हियर सिक्योरिटीज आर नॉट प्रोवाइडेड टू आरबीआई. बट इन दिस केस रेपो सिक्योरिटीज आर प्रोवाइडेड by commercial bank to RBI. Now next one is marginal MSS, that is marginal stabilization scheme. Chart is given here. Marginal stabilization scheme. Here again the sale of government bonds or securities. And these government bonds and securities are known as MSB, marginal stabilization bond. that is RBI sells the government bonds, that is known as MSB, marginal stabilization bond, when there is high liquidity in the market. बॉन्ड सेल करेगा और बॉन्ड परचेज करेंगे, लिक्विडिटी मार्केट से एब्जॉर्ब होगा, मार्केट में पैसा कम होगा. In this case, MSS, when there is high liquidity in the market, RBI sells government bonds, that is MSB. So this one is the meaning. अब जब आप थियरी पढ़ेंगे इसके, so it will be easier for you to understand. जो टर्म्स हैं इसमें जो दिया गया है, SLR, CRR और ये जितने टर्म्स है OMO, that I have written in short what is the meaning of these terms, what are direct instruments and indirect instrument, and meaning of this one. So the question can be here, what are the RBI tools used to monitor what are the tools used by RBI to implement monetary policy or used as an monetary authority? So these are the tools here used here. Next function, issuer of currency, banker and debt manager to government. These are easy. ये छोटे points हैं, आप यहाँ पे issuer of currency आप एक बार read कर सकते हैं. These are easy points. Banker and debt manager to government. Bankers to bank. Next function. Regulator of the banking system, that regulates banking, commercial, non-commercial, and regional rural banks. These are controlled by RBI. Seven to 8 points are given there. आप जितने याद होंगे आप इसमें से याद कर सकते हैं. यहाँ पे points है. These are the points. What are the functions of RBI? The question that has been asked from here is, question जो RBI का आपको पूछा है, this is the question. ये question पूछा है, what are the tools used by RBI in maintaining financial stability? One point is maintaining financial stability. So what are the tools used by RBI to maintain financial stability? These are the tools. ये आंसर है इसका. और आपका क्वेश्चन आपको ये पूछा गया, that question has been asked in what are the tools and techniques used by RBI to maintain financial stability? So this one is the answer. Tools and techniques used by RBI to maintain financial stability, that is financial stress indicator, systemic liquidity indicator, fiscal stress indicator, network model, and banking stability indicator. इसके डिटेल्स आपको नहीं है, सिर्फ 2-3 मार्क्स का क्वेश्चन था. 4 marks question was this one. 4 points ही आपको इसमें से कोई सा लिखना है. So अब इसकी रीडिंग आप एक बार कर लेंगे यहाँ पर. RBI, tools used by RBI. जितना आप इसमें रीड आउट कर सकते हैं वो इसमें पॉइंट्स आप पढ़ लेंगे. बट फॉर मेंटेनिंग फाइनेंशियल स्टेबिलिटी, व्हाट आर द टूल्स, ये आप पढ़ेंगे. एंड दिस वन मॉनेटरी अथॉरिटी, हाउएवर दिस हैज नॉट बीन आस्क्ड व्हाट आर द टूल्स यूज्ड टू मॉनिटर एज ए मॉनेटरी अथॉरिटी, बट इट कैन बी देयर. ये आपको इसमें काफी सारे पॉइंट्स है. एंड दिस क्वेश्चन हैज बीन आस्क्ड, मेंटेनिंग फाइनेंशियल स्टेबिलिटी, व्हाट आर द टूल्स. जस्ट रीड आउट ऑल द पॉइंट्स गिवन. इजी है, बाकी पॉइंट्स आपको आ जाएगा समझ में. Now next one, indirect tools. Now what can be the topics, questions related to financial system? So apart from this one, we can read what are the key elements of well functioning financial system. अच्छे फंक्शन के लिए फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम्स के क्या क्या फीचर्स होने चाहिए? दैट आंसर इज एट पेज नंबर 87. इस चैप्टर से क्या क्या क्वेश्चन हो सकता है? व्हाट कैन बी द थियरी क्वेश्चंस? जो मैक्सिमम हम इसमें थ्योरी क्वेश्चंस वी कैन डिजाइन, दैट इज, ये पेज नंबर के साथ मैंने लिख दिया है यहाँ पर. व्हाट आर द फंक्शंस ऑफ फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम, व्हाट आर द की एलिमेंट्स ऑफ वेल फंक्शनिंग सिस्टम. तो इजी पॉइंट्स हैं, आप इसको चाहे तो पढ़ लेंगे. Now what are the functions of financial system? Again at page 86. What are the functions of financial system? These are the functions of financial system: mobilization and allocation of savings, monitor corporate performance, provide payment. तो आप इसको फुर्सत में रीड करेंगे. क्वेश्चन जितने इसमें पढ़ सकते हैं थ्योरी ठीक है, ओवरऑल मैं इसको समराइज कर दी. नाउ फाइनेंशियल मार्केट क्लासिफिकेशन. क्लासिफिकेशन हमने देख लिया. द डायग्राम, ये डायग्राम है आपको इस पेज पे. दिस इज द डायग्राम. फाइनेंशियल मार्केट, फाइनेंशियल मार्केट, दिस इज द डायग्राम एट पेज नंबर 89. Now meaning of financial market, answer is at page 85. One question: what are the three economic functions of financial market? December 2014, 2 marks question. What are the three economic functions of financial market? So detail is given as page number 86. Now what are the three major functions of financial market? This one is the question. In December 2014, what are the three major functions? We have to write these 3 points. Price discovery. Functions क्या है financial market? One is price discovery, liquidity and reduction of transaction cost. Now what is the meaning of price discovery? Price discovery means price of asset in financial market. It will be determined with the help of demand and supply. That is the meaning of price discovery. That price is determined with the help of demand and supply. Next one is liquidity. Liquidity means asset can be sold at any time by the holder. आप कभी भी चाहे बेच सकते हैं assets को in financial market. Now third one, reduction in transaction cost. 3 functions. Price discovery, that is price will depend on demand and supply. Liquidity, it can be sold at any time. Third one, reduction in transaction cost. It means asset with lower transaction cost will have higher demand. Transaction cost, it is given here. The function of reduction in transaction cost, it is given when financial market participants, आप इसको पढ़ेंगे तो इसमें यही theory दिया है कि जो भी financial assets हैं उसके साथ transaction cost भी होगा, पर जिसका transaction cost कम होगा वो ज्यादा आपका demand में रहेगा. So these are the 3 points for functions of financial market: price discovery, liquidity and reduction in transaction cost, for 2 marks question in December 2014. Now some more questions with financial intermediaries, that is banking sector. Details of banking sector. What are the banking and non-banking functions of commercial bank? What are the banking and non-banking functions of commercial bank? At page number 99. Now what is the difference between banking and NBFC? It is given at page number 102. What are the requirements of registration of NBFC at RBI? इसमें कुछ टर्नओवर दिया है कि NBFC को RBI के पास रजिस्ट्रेशन की रिक्वायरमेंट कब होती है. That is at page number 04. And what are the different types of NBFC and NBFC features? An insurance company, what are the functions of IRDA? That is given. With all the questions I have written the page number. तो आप इसमें से जितने theory question पढ़ सकते हैं पढ़ लेंगे, बट ये questions तो आप इतना एटलीस्ट पता होना चाहिए. रेस्ट ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस आप जितना इसमें से पढ़ पाएंगे आप पढ़ लें उसको. नाउ फाइनेंशियल रेगुलेटर्स में आपका मैनेजमेंट एंड स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ आरबीआई, डिपार्टमेंट्स एंड सब डिपार्टमेंट्स, फंक्शंस, डायरेक्ट एंड इनडायरेक्ट इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स. इतने क्वेश्चंस थ्योरी में है। थ्योरी इसके अलावा थ्योरी और भी बताऊं? जस्ट आई हैव समराइज द थ्योरी, समरी कर दिया है बस थ्योरी का। आपको पूरा थ्योरी पढ़ाऊंगी तो आपको भी काफी डल हो जाएगा एंड मन भी नहीं लगेगा आपको इतना थ्योरी पढ़ने में फॉर द होल सेशन। बैंकिंग सिस्टम, ये आरबीआई का फंक्शन है। टूल्स, बैंकिंग सिस्टम, दैट इज फंक्शन ऑफ कमर्शियल बैंक, बैंकिंग एंड नॉन बैंकिंग फंक्शन, देन difference between NBFC and commercial bank. That is what is the difference between bank and NBFC? Now what is the registration requirement of NBFC with RBI? तो इसमें कुछ points हैं. These are the types of NBFC: asset finance company, investment company, loan company, infrastructure, and systematically important core investment company. That is core investment company. What is the meaning of core investment company? Again, definition is given here. These are the points of core investment company: infrastructure debt company, non-banking financial company. Now, when registration is required for NBFC with RBI, that it should be registered under section 3, and that is net owned fund should be at least 200 lakhs. And then acceptance of public deposits, when NBFC can accept the public deposit, and what is the ceiling for acceptance of public deposit. तो अगेन इसमें थ्योरी है, इसके कुछ पॉइंट्स हैं. अब आपको इसमें जितना याद रहेगा आप याद कर लें. जो थ्योरी क्वेश्चन इसमें से पूछा गया है वो 2 क्वेश्चन से 2 क्वेश्चंस आर देयर, दैट इज रिलेटेड टू आरबीआई फंक्शंस, टूल्स, एंड another is 3 economic functions of financial market. IRDA के क्या क्या फंक्शंस हैं? पेंशन फंड, what are the types of pension fund. इतना है इस चैप्टर में. Should I start the practical questions? Next chapter we have for the theory financial market, that is money market instrument, repo and reverse repo, म्यूचुअल फंड्स. इसमें से क्वेश्चन थोड़े ज्यादा हैं, वो क्वेश्चंस हम लोग नेक्स्ट टाइम, थ्योरी ऑफ दिस चैप्टर वी विल डिस्कस नेक्स्ट टाइम. इसकी थ्योरी हम लोग नेक्स्ट टाइम पढ़ेंगे. दैट इज व्हाट आर द टाइप्स ऑफ, एंड अगेन देन रेपो रेट एंड रिवर्स रेपो रेट. कुछ प्रैक्टिकल पढ़ लेते हैं आप क्वेश्चन इस चैप्टर के. Now illustrations, practical of this part B. Part B again, more practical questions have been asked from there. Part B. So in part B, first one, computation of NAV. Theory of part B we will discuss next time. Computation of return on mutual fund. First one is computation of return on mutual fund. How to find return earned on mutual fund? That is return, change in NAV, net asset value, that is change in value of asset, plus dividend, plus capital gain distribution. This, what is percentage return that we have read in portfolio also. How to find return? Capital appreciation plus dividend divided by purchase price. So here it is also change in NAV, that is capital appreciation, closing minus opening value, plus dividend earned, plus capital gain distribution. Any capital gain if it is distributed to the bondholders, that is capital gain distribution, divided by opening NAV, NAV net asset value. Now what is this change in NAV, that is capital appreciation, closing minus opening. So how to find the return? Total change in NAV plus dividend plus capital gain distribution divided by opening NAV. Now we will do one question for this, that is illustration 4. Practical questions of this chapter are very easy. जो आपको थोड़ा बहुत थ्योरी ही पढ़ने में मन नहीं लगेगा, practical otherwise practical part is very easy for this chapter. Question is, a good luck mutual fund that has net asset value 17 at the beginning of month. 17 net asset value at the beginning, that is opening NAV is 17. Made income and capital gain distribution 0.04 is income and 0.03 is capital gain distribution per unit during the month, and NAV at the end of the month NAV is 17.08. This one is opening NAV, this is closing NAV. Find out annual rate of return and monthly. So first we will find the return, that is at the beginning it is 17, closing NAV 17.08, capital appreciation that is 0.08, closing minus opening. Dividend is, that is income earned is 0.04, capital gain distribution 0.03, that is dividend plus capital gain. Now total return, capital appreciation plus income plus capital gain distribution. Total is 0.015. Now what is the return here? Opening value is, these details are given for month. ये जो आपको डिटेल दिया है वो month का है, at the beginning of month and at the end of month. So this return will be monthly. That is total return divided by opening NAV. This is the formula, total return divided by opening NAV. But since these information are given for a month, this return is per month. Now we have to find the annual return. So we will multiply with 12. That is annual return. Based on this one, this can be for 2 marks question के लिए illustration 4 है. On the basis of this one, return on mutual fund, practice question number 7, 8, 5. Fourth question we have done. More questions we can practice for this topic, that is 7, 8 and 5. So for return on mutual fund, please practice these questions. Now next one, effective yield. That is effective yield is computation of annual yield on the basis of return earned by investor. Now how to find effective yield? Total yield divided by number of periods. That is effective yield, we have to find total yield and divide with number of periods. Let us practice question number 9. Till question number 15 we will discuss today. Question 9. Question 9 says, question number 7, 8, these are for the return on mutual fund. So for first topic, आप ये return के लिए 4th, 5th, 7th and 8th question करेंगे. Now next one, 9th question is for effective yield. Now the question is, A has invested in 3 mutual funds. Date of investment is given amount of investment, net asset value and dividend received. And net asset value, this one is opening value and closing value. We have to find the effective yield. That is effective yield, total yield divided by number of periods. So total yield, how to find total yield? Capital appreciation plus dividend. Dividend is given here. We have to find capital appreciation. Capital gain distribution is not given in this question. So two yields will be there, capital appreciation and dividend. So for the first one, MF1, इसका हम लोग करते हैं MF1 for this, MF1. Amount of investment is 50,000. Investment amount is 50,000. NAV at entry date, that is 10.5. Number of units will be 50,000 divided by this 10.5. This much units of mutual fund. Now NAV at closing date is 10.4. So total NAV at closing date. Value of NAV at closing date will be this number of units multiplied with this one. Number of units multiplied with NAV per unit. So this is the NAV at closing NAV. Now the difference between capital appreciation will be in minus, that is closing value is this, opening value is this. Capital appreciation 50,000 minus 49,523. Opening value इसका 10.5 है and closing आपका इतना है. तो difference जो आएगा, that difference will be per unit capital. This capital आपका appreciation नहीं depreciation. अब इसी को पर number of units से multiply किया है, तो that is total NAV for this much number of units. So there is capital depreciation. Now next one, total yield is this one. This plus dividend will be given. Next one, total yield, net NAV is this, plus dividend will be there. Dividend 970. So 970 we will add 970 plus this amount 476 in minus. ये आपका total yield 493 आएगा. 970 minus 476, that will be 493. That is the total yield divided by number of days. Number of days, that is total effective yield will be total yield divided by number of days. तो number of days आपका, ये तो हमने effective yield इसका total yield divided by amount invested. अब यहाँ से अब आप number of days यहाँ count करेंगे. 31/3/2013 and this one is 1/12/2000, 1 दिसंबर 2012 से 31 दिसंबर 2013. So number of days 121. Number of days आपका 121 आएगा. तो for this yield is for on annual basis. आप इसको 121 days के लिए 121 days का आपको yield दिया हुआ है 493. 365 के लिए आप निकाल लेंगे. This is the meaning. How to find the effective yield? That period is given from December to March. Detail is given. On the basis of this one, first we will find the return on mutual fund. That is return on mutual fund, net capital appreciation plus dividend. Dividend is 970, capital appreciation is this value. अब ये आपको क्यों निकालना पड़ा टोटल अमाउंट? क्योंकि यहाँ पर जो आपको डिविडेंड दिया है वो टोटल दिया है, पर यूनिट का नहीं दिया, और ये जो आपको दिया है वो पर यूनिट है. So we have to find this one in total amount. 476 capital appreciation, 970 dividend. Total yield will be 493. But this one will be for 121 days. ये जो डिटेल है आपका 121 days के लिए. So we have to find the yield for on annual basis. So for the annual basis, this return is for 121 days. So for 365 days, it has been calculated in this way. ये जो रिटर्न आया आपका उतने के लिए है. कैसे निकालेंगे? टोटल यील्ड डिवाइडेड बाय अमाउंट ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट 50,000, दैट इज ये दिस वैल्यू 493 divided by 50,000 into 365 divided by number of days. 493 divided by 50,000 will be the return on mutual fund, and that is for 120 days. So we have to find for 365 days. That is effective yield.
मैडम माइनस 476 188 प्लस
ये
970
वैल्यू आप प्लस करें 970 डिडक्ट करके देखें इसमें 970 minus 476 minus 476. हाँ आ रहा है. This is the value 494 आया. This value will be, this is the capital appreciation that is in minus, and this is the dividend. So how to find the return on mutual fund? पहले तो आप return निकालें. First we have to find the return. That is capital appreciation plus dividend. This is not given. Capital gain distribution is not given here. So we have to find change in NAV plus dividend. So change in NAV is, we have to find this one in this way. Change in NAV this is the change in NAV, and dividend is 970. So 970 plus 476, that is, this one is in minus. So it will be 493. And now we have to divide with opening NAV. Opening NAV is 50,000. So we have to divide this 493 divided by 50,000. That is 493 divided by 50,000. If we multiply with 100, this one is the yield for, that is, if we multiply this one with 100, this one will be for 120 days. So this return is for 120 days. So we have to find this one for 365 days. That is 2.98. Any doubt? That is, effective yield means total yield with number of periods. That is, total yield will be computed for per annum basis. Yield will be computed for per annum on the basis of number of days given. For the effective yield, for the practice, we can do question number December 2016. One question is in December 2016. Based on this one, effective yield. Till 9th question. Now next one, any doubt in this question? Next one is question number 10.
76 188 divided by 970 minus will come, no?
It will be in plus.
How, madam?
एक मिनट मैं आपको बताऊं यहाँ पे कैलकुलेशन. Capital 970, that is dividend. Divided by opening value. Dividend here is 970 and capital appreciation is in minus 4. Suppose it is 476. It will be in plus. I'm not getting the doubt. And we have to divide it with 50,000. So this one will be the return for 121 days. So what is the doubt? Please let me know that. I'm not getting your point maybe. Please repeat if you have any doubt. I'm not getting your point exactly. What is the, it will be in plus 970 minus 476. Dividend plus capital appreciation. That will be around 494 divided by 50,000.
Clear, ma'am.
If you are talking about this minus, this is closing value 49523 minus 50,000. Then it will be in minus because
Okay,
the closing value is lesser than opening. Got it? I think maybe you will be thinking this one as a closing and this one as opening value. Okay, the next one. For the effective yield, please practice question number December 2016. Now next one, indifference point, that is illustration 10. Indifference point, what is the meaning of indifference? This word, meaning of this word, you already know this. What is the indifference means? That is break-even point. So indifference point here refers to the rate of return earned on mutual fund. How much return the investor should earn on mutual fund so that it will be equal to return made on any other investment. आप किसी और इन्वेस्टमेंट पे जो रिटर्न आपको मिलेगा वही रिटर्न आपको म्यूचुअल फंड पे इन्वेस्ट करके भी मिलना चाहिए. That is the indifference point return. Now how the investor will compute this one? Investor को ये कैसे निकालना है? So this is computed with the help of formula. Required return by investor at indifference point will be equal to return on mutual fund minus recurring expense on mutual fund investment multiplied with 1 minus issue expense. That is required return by investor on any other investment. दूसरे investment पे जो return आएगा, we are talking about that return. This one should be equal to return on mutual fund minus recurring expense multiplied with 1 minus issue expense. Now let us do question number 10. Question 10. Mr. Kiran can earn a return of 16%. Kiran can earn return of 16% by investing in equity shares. It means return on investment is 16%. Now he is considering a recently announced equity-based mutual fund scheme in which initial expense is 5.7 and annual recurring expense is 1.7. What should be the mutual fund earned to provide Mr. Kiran रिटर्न ऑफ 16%. तो क्वेश्चन पढ़ के हमें ये पता लग जाएगा कि इसमें ब्रेक इवन निकालना है कैसे. कह रहा है आपको रिटर्न दिया है 16% एंड व्हाट शुड बी द रिटर्न ऑन म्यूचुअल फंड. सो फॉर वी विल अप्लाई दिस फॉर्मूला. रिटर्न बाय इन्वेस्टर इज इक्वल टू रिटर्न ऑन म्यूचुअल फंड माइनस रिकरिंग एक्सपेंस मल्टीप्लाइड विथ 1 माइनस इश्यू एक्सपेंस. This one will be the formula used here. Now we will find the values. Return by investor, it is given here, return by investor 16%. Return is 16%. So here we will use 16%. Now next one, return on mutual fund. Assume it is X. Recurring expense is given 1.7% and issue cost is 5.7%. Recurring expense, annual recurring expense is 1.7% and initial expense is 5.7%. So recurring expense 1.7 and 5.7. Now solve this one. 0.16 x minus 0.17, 1 minus this value. कैलकुलेशन इसे करेंगे आप, ये वैल्यू आएगा आपका इतना. आप इसे सिंपली कैलकुलेट करें. दैट इज फर्स्ट वी विल मल्टीप्लाई x with 1, then we will multiply x with 0.57. ये आएगा x minus 0.57x. Now this 0.017 multiplied with 1, then 0.17 multiplied with this value. Simple calculation. So on solving this one, we will get the value 18.87. That is, we have to simply, this is for 2 marks question. Return on investor, return on mutual fund, recurring expense, 1 minus issue expense. All the values we have to give here and find the value of x, return on mutual fund. So the answer is 18.67. Point का difference है कि इसमें हमने values काफी सारे लिए. So illustration 10. That is how to find indifference point for mutual fund. On the basis of this question, illustration 13 is given. Same question है illustration 13 and illustration 10. 2 questions आप practice करेंगे on basis of this one, indifference point. Now next topic is CAGR, that is compounded annual growth rate. Now how to find compounded annual growth rate? That is total return plus initial investment divided by initial investment to the power of 1 upon n minus 1. Or we can write it as ending value, that is return plus investment, that will be closing value. So closing value divided by opening value to the power of 1 upon n means number of life year minus 1. So again question, we will do one question to clarify this. Illustration 12. 12, that is annualized return. Question is, from the following data, for 5-year information is given for 5 years. Closing price is this. Dividend for 5 years is given. Opening price is for year 1 is 45. Find out CAGR. What will be the CAGR when there is no dividend? So first we have to find CAGR when there is dividend, that is this income, and second case when there is no dividend. So first one, when there is dividend. Starting with year 1, opening price is 45. How to find CAGR? Closing value divided by opening value. That is to the power of 1 upon n, that is under root. So opening value 45 for year 1. Closing is 50. Dividend 4. Capital appreciation will be closing minus opening. 50 minus 45, 5. Total return will be dividend plus capital appreciation 9. In percentage, it will be total return divided by opening value. Opening is 45. So 9 divided by 45, 20%. For the first year, opening is given. Closing is given. Closing price. Capital appreciation will be 5. Closing minus opening. Dividend 4. Total return 9. We have to find in percentage, 20%. Same way for the second year. Now for the second year, opening will be this, closing price. Third year, this closing will be opening. In the same way, we have to take. So opening price is 50, closing 64, it is given. Dividend 8, capital appreciation 64 minus 50, 14. Total return 14 plus 8, 22. Now 22 divided by opening price 50, that is 44. For the all 3 years, third, fourth, and fifth years, we will find in same way. Total return will be this one. Now, how to find CAGR? CAGR, that is total return plus initial investment divided by initial investment minus 1. Now, total return. What is the total return here? Total return is 132. That is capital appreciation plus dividend for 5 years. So it will be 132. Initial investment at the beginning it was 45. We had started with 45. So 45 divided by initial investment 45. Number of year is 5. So to the power of 1 upon 5 minus 1. अब इसका वैल्यू आपको 3.933 टू द पावर ऑफ 1 अपॉन 5. ये वैल्यू प्रैक्टिस के लिए तो आप साइंटिफिक कैलकुलेटर से निकाल लें, अदरवाइज आपको पूछेगा तो वहां पे दिया होगा. दिस वैल्यू that is 1.3151. It will be given 1.3151 minus 1, that is 31.51%. In percentage 31.51. And when there is no dividend, so we don't have to consider this dividend. Only capital appreciation 80 will be taken. इस केस में हम सब कैपिटल एप्रिसिएशन 80 लेंगे. 80 plus 45 divided by 45. Here total return we have to take. That is CAGR. Total return plus initial investment, that is closing value divided by opening value. And the square root of this one to nth power. So we have to find the square root of this minus 1. So this is the formula for CAGR. Please write down all the formulas in your copy at one place. आप chapter wise सारे formulas लिखते जाएंगे copy में एक जगह. Now we have 3 more classes in this month. In this month or what? That is only we have 3 more classes. So next class we will discuss chapter 5 theory and illustration 16 to 30 questions. I think almost 29-30 questions are there. So rest of the practical questions and chapter 5 theory. After that we will have 2 more classes. So in 2 more classes I'm planning to revise forex, and that is part D and part C. One day part C, theory of part C that was left out. आपका theory रह गया था part C का. तो some of the theory of part C and overall we will revise. Formula वगैरह वो आपको मैं revise करा दूंगी उस time पे. First I will see the mock test paper also that has been released. So on basis of mock test paper, I'm planning to revise portfolio and one day forex. अगर आपको कुछ और इसमें ऐड करना है तो आप मुझे बता दें. Accordingly, I will make the plan for 2 classes. 2 classes में आपको मैं जो भी आप whatever you feel comfortable. Yes, I will revise derivatives. 1 class derivatives and 1 for portfolio. Because portfolio काफी दिन हो गए पढ़े हुए. सितंबर में हमने पढ़ा था. And अक्टूबर हमने derivatives पढ़ा है. नवंबर पार्ट बी एंड सी अभी रिसेंटली हम लोग पढ़ ही रहे हैं, तो रिवाइज करने की आपको जरूरत नहीं होगी उतनी. पार्ट बी सी एंड डी वी विल रिवाइज. अगर आपको कुछ और हाँ इफ यू हैव एनी सम डिफरेंट प्लान यू कैन शेयर विथ मी. अकॉर्डिंगली आई विल मेक द पीपीटी ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ मॉक टेस्ट पेपर. फर्स्ट आई विल सी द मॉक टेस्ट पेपर की कैसे क्वेश्चंस हैं, फिर उस अकॉर्डिंग हम लोग पोर्टफोलियो एंड डेरिवेटिव रिवाइज करेंगे. After this, next one is Sharpe ratio. Sharpe and trainer ratio, 2 ratios are given. That is reward to risk ratio, that is Sharpe ratio. How to find this ratio? RP, return on portfolio, minus risk-free return divided by standard deviation of portfolio. Return on portfolio minus risk-free return divided by standard deviation on portfolio. Question number 15. This is the question. Chintamani Fund, a fund which invests exclusively in public sector undertaking, yielded 3.75 per unit. Opening value is this 21.20 and fund has risk factor this much. Find out Sharpe ratio for question says find out Sharpe ratio and evaluate fund performance. Fund performance means performance of this Chintamani fund in juxtaposition to Sensex, that is return on market. Means we have to find Sharpe ratio for this fund and for Sensex, that is for market. And then we have to compare. So first, for the market, information for the market is case 1. 3 cases are given. For case 1, RF is 5%, return on Sensex, that is RM 15%, return on standard deviation on market, that is 2.75. Now the ratio is Sharpe ratio RP, return on portfolio minus RF divided by standard deviation. Case 1, that is for this case. RF is 5%, RM is 15%, that is given for Sensex, and a standard deviation is given for Sensex, 2.75. So Sharpe ratio for market will be this point number B, that is return minus RF divided by standard deviation. So return is 15 minus RF 5 divided by 2.75. 15 minus 5 divided by 2.75. That will be 3.64. That is for Sensex, that is Sharpe ratio for market. Now we have to find Sharpe ratio for this fund. How to find this one? Again, here we need RF is given. We need two things, return and standard deviation. Standard deviation is given 3.5 for this Chintamani fund. We have to find this value, return. Now how to find return for this fund? That is, yield is given 3.75 and opening value. How to find return? That is total capital appreciation plus dividend, and this value is given 3.75 divided with opening NAV. So this information that this fund yielded 3.75 per unit, इतना आपको income हुआ है और investment कितना था 21.20. So return will be 3.75 divided by 21.20, and in percentage it will be 17.69. So this is the return on fund minus RF. RF will remain same. Standard deviation for this is 3.5. We will find the ratio for this fund, Chintamani fund. It is 3.63. So Sharpe ratio is higher for market. It means market has outperformed. The performance of market is better than this fund. जिसका Sharpe ratio ज़्यादा होगा, performance will be better because return is higher. So Sharpe ratio for this market is higher than this fund, so it is better to. So this one will be market performance is better than this fund. Similarly, we have to find in case B and C. So this is Sharpe ratio. Next one is Sharpe ratio. It is also known as reward to risk ratio. Reward, this is RP minus RF. Risk, standard deviation. Now trainer ratio, that is reward to volatility ratio. In trainer ratio, we have to divide with beta. Difference in Sharpe ratio, divide with standard deviation. In trainer, only consider the value of beta. यहाँ पे सिर्फ आप बीटा लेंगे. So trainer ratio अभी आपको आगे के questions में होगा. Till this point, we have Sharpe ratio. For Sharpe ratio, practice illustration 15 we have done. Now December 2016 question. So in suggested December 2016 practice effective question and this Sharpe ratio question. 3 topics. These topics we have done. Now next one is net asset value. How to find net asset value? For this we will do question number 1. This is the question number 1, computation of net asset value. Question says initial investment is given. There are number of investments. The investment is made in IT sector, infrastructure, aviation, automotive and banking. An investment amount is given for different sectors. Cash in hand, that is cash value is given. Investment in fixed asset, fixed income bearing bonds, that is in bonds. Listed and unlisted bond is given. Expenses are given. Market expectation, that is rate on listed bond. Interest rate on listed bond is given. What is market rate on listed bond? Number of units are given. Now what is NAV? That is NAV is market value of total assets minus total liabilities. That is difference between value of assets and liabilities, NAV. How to find NAV per unit? Total NAV divided by number of units. So first one, for NAV we have to find market value of assets, then market value of liabilities. Now market value of assets, these are the 4 questions given. These bullet points are questions. First one is find net asset value of fund. So first one, net asset value. This is the closing value computation and this one is opening value computation. Opening NAV. Let us find the opening NAV first. How to find opening NAV? Investment value is given. Opening IT sector 28, infrastructure 15. All the values, opening values are given. So we have to take investment. Investment, these are assets. So opening value, investment, assets. Now investment in listed bond and unlisted bond. So total we have taken 108. In opening value here, point is given, cash and other assets are not included because it is written here, cash and other assets even throughout the fund period. वो कह रहा है कि आपको starting में नहीं था, during the fund period वो generate हुआ है. So we have not taken it as in the opening value. And expenses, total assets आपका ये होगा. अब इसमें से हम net, how to find net asset value? Total assets minus net asset value is total assets minus total liabilities. So liabilities here, liabilities are not deducted here. Why not deducted here? Because it is assumed that cash and other assets are made during the year. So liabilities will also be made during the year. That is expense payable at the closer date only. It is given at the closer value. So this one will be considered for closing value में आप इन दोनों को consider करेंगे. For the opening value हमने यहाँ पर नहीं लिया है. ये आपको note लिखा होगा. Note will be given in the last. नहीं दिया है तो आप notes लिखेंगे question में. ये question भी आपका question पूछा गया question है, question number 1. So this one was the closing NAV. Now, opening NAV. Now we have to compute the closing NAV. This computation is for closing NAV. First, for the IT, cost is 28. कह रहा है initial investment आपका 28 था. Indexation is given. That is index value on the date of purchase and on the date of closing date. तो जैसे आप टैक्स में कैपिटल गेन में निकालते हैं, मार्केट वैल्यू एट एंड कैसे आप निकालते हैं, दैट इज इन्वेस्टमेंट अमाउंट इनटू जिस साल आपने सेल किया है उसका CII डिवाइडेड बाय परचेज टाइम का CII. सेम हियर आल्सो, कॉस्ट multiplied with that is in sector index at the time of sale, सेल के टाइम का और वैल्यूएशन के टाइम का डेट ये दिया हुआ इंडेक्स वैल्यू डिवाइडेड बाय इंडेक्स वैल्यू एट द टाइम ऑफ परचेज. So this one will be 47.2. This computation is same as in the case of capital gain में जो आप निकालते हैं with the help of CII. और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, एविएशन, ऑटोमोटिव, बैंकिंग सबके लिए हमने निकाल लिया. और these 4 sectors, 5 sectors, IT, infrastructure, value is index value is given. So we have to compute fund value, market value of shares on the basis of this one. यहाँ तक clear है? Next one, market value of, apart from this, 2 more investment is given. ये तो share का था. Now in debt, bonds, that is listed bond and unlisted bond. So for unlisted bond, cost of investment in unlisted bond, इससे रिगार्डिंग आपको कुछ भी इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं है कि मार्केट वैल्यू में इसमें कुछ चेंज है या नहीं है. नथिंग इज गिवन, नो इंफॉर्मेशन रिलेटेड टू एनी चेंज इन वैल्यू फॉर अनलिस्टेड बॉन्ड. So it will be taken as it is 8. Cost of investment in unlisted bond. Next one, for listed bond, it is written here market expectations of listed bond is 8.4%. Means that is the return expected by investor from the listed bond. Now how to find the market value? The rate of interest, market rate of interest is 8.4%. So how to find the market value of this listed bond? Opening price is 10, face value 10,000 each, rate of interest is 10.5%. Now for the market value of listed bond calculation I have done. Face value is 10,000, rate of interest 10.5%. How to find interest? Interest कितना मिलेगा? Face value into rate of interest. That interest will be given 1050. On listed bond, investor will receive 1050. But this is only 8.4% because the question says interest तो आपको face value पे दिया जाएगा and this is equal to 8.4%. So suppose investment amount is, market value is X, bond value is X, interest is 8.4% of X is equal to 1050. Interest तो आपको इतना ही मिलेगा on the face value. Interest is given on the face value and interest will be 1050, but investor take it as 8.4%. ये जो 1050 है that is 8.4%. So total will be 12,500. So this computation 12,500 market value of investment in listed bond वो इस तरीके से आया है, that is 12.5. इसका वर्किंग यहाँ पे है, this is the working given here. तो वो निकाला हमने ऐसे. It will be computed in this way, 10,000 into 10.5% interest and this is equal to 8.4%. The value will be 12,500. Now cash and all the points we have considered. This share investment, bond investment, cash. That cash will be taken for the closing NAV to total value 171.88 less expense. That is expense at end, market value of expense payable, that is liability at end 3. So liability will be 3. NAV will be 168.88. NAV is market value of total assets minus total liabilities. So market value of asset 171.88 and liabilities 3. अब कैश हमने ओपनिंग में क्यों नहीं लिया था, क्लोजिंग में क्यों लिया था? Because note is given here that cash is throughout the period. So first point, NAV per unit, NAV value of fund. So NAV we have computed, opening NAV, closing is this and opening is this 108. Second point is NAV per unit. So first point NAV, next NAV per unit. Now we have to find number of units. Number of units, question says number of units 5.5. Opening and closing NAV हमने निकाल लिया. Now we have to find NAV per unit. So divide with per unit value. Closing is 168.55 divided by 5.5. That will be closing NAV per unit. Opening NAV per unit will be opening value divided by 5.5, 19.64. So second point and first point, NAV value of fund, NAV per unit. Third one, annualized, next one has been computed annualized return. What is the annualized return? This is the third point, annualized return. Now annualized return, so we have to find the return. Return will be capital appreciation, dividend, and capital appreciation. Capital appreciation, closing NAV minus opening NAV. Closing we have computed 30.19.64. So capital appreciation 11.07. Now for dividend. Mutual fund, that is capital appreciation plus dividend, and if there is any capital gain distribution. So capital appreciation we have computed, closing minus opening. Now we have to see for the dividend. Regarding the dividend, it is given if the period under consideration is 2 years. This distributed per unit as cash dividend. Cash dividend 2 per unit per year. So 2 into 2, 4, that will be dividend. Capital appreciation 11.07. Total 4 plus 11.07 divided by opening NAV, that will be the return, 77%. This 77% is for 2 years, so we have to find the annualized return. Point number 3 says find out annualized return. This one is annualized return. This is question number 3. यहाँ तक question number 3 है, and this one is fourth question. So dividend, cash dividend plus capital appreciation divided by opening NAV 77. This is for 2 years. So per annum return will be 38.5. Now fourth point. Fourth point of this question is a certain expense ratio if the fund has following expense. So we total expense is given as these 4 values, total expense. This one is 275, 350, 80. That is total 705. Plus closing divided by 2. Opening is this, closing. ये पर यूनिट में नहीं है तो आपको ये वैल्यू भी टोटल ही लेना है. Divided by 2, 138.44. So this one will be divided by total expense divided by average value of portfolio into 100. Expense 5.09%. Now expense per unit expense, total expense is this much, so per unit expense will be 1.2. Per unit expense, question says to find a certain expense ratio only, but per unit expense भी निकाल दिया इसमें, that is expense per unit, total expense 7.05 divided by number of units 5.5. In this chapter, till question number 5, not only till question number 5, but in this chapter we have to find net asset value. Net asset value and return on mutual fund. These two topics, that this type of question will be repeated. So question number 1 से 15 आज हम लोगों ने कर लिया. Any doubt in this question? Chapter A है part B. Next time we will discuss this one is rupee weight. Entry 15 to 30. फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन, फर्स्ट सेकंड, अब आप सारे क्वेश्चंस करेंगे टिल 15 तक. टॉपिक वाइज आप घर पे ये क्वेश्चन इस अकॉर्डिंग करना है आपको. शार्प एंड ट्रेनर ये क्वेश्चंस है. एनएवी, इंडिफरेंस पॉइंट, सीएजीआर, इफेक्टिव एंड रिटर्न. 3 marks 4 marks क्वेश्चन. फॉर 4 marks क्वेश्चन टिल 15th क्वेश्चन. 16 से हम लोग करेंगे. 16 यहाँ से हम लोग नेक्स्ट टाइम we will discuss from this question number 16. And for remaining 2 days after next Tuesday, 1 day for portfolio and 1 day for derivative. Any suggestion for next 2 classes? कुछ और भी आपको doubt है या कुछ? If you want to say something, please say. So that accordingly I will include those topic in PPT. आपको मैं वो cover कर दूंगी जो आपको difficult लगता है.
Madam, I have a suggestion, madam.
Yes, please say. उसका scanner कर देना है question.
I have a suggestion.
Yes, please say. Are you talking about the scanner?
Not the scanner.
Please say.
Last 6 terms that questions can be discussed in the class.
Yes, I will include those questions. Revision, revision for portfolio and derivatives. First, I will see the mock test paper for these 2 chapters. I will see the test paper. Then I will discuss the questions on the from December 2016. मैं आपको वो questions बता दूंगी क्या किस topic से आपको what topic, which topic is important and which questions have been frequently asked. That I will discuss in 2 classes. जो last के 2 classes होंगे, that last 3 more classes we have. Next class part B, we will complete this chapter part B, and I will try to cover the portfolio theory also in next class. If it will not be possible, then next time we have 2 more classes. So 1 day for portfolio and 1 day for derivative.
And can you provide summary of formulas?
Yes, everything I will cover. Summary of formula. Revision means I will not cover any topic. Topic तो हमने पढ़ लिया. जैसे सारा topic अभी. Yes, I will cover the formula. Formula आपको cover कर दूंगी मैं उसमें. और जो MTP इसमें mock
बना देते या फिर एक चार्ट बना देते.
ठीक है, मैं दे दूंगी आपको. फॉर्मूला दैट आई हैव डिसाइडेड कि वो मैं आपको फॉर्मूला एक समराइज कर दूंगी ऑन द फॉर्मूला पोर्टफोलियो का एंड डेरिवेटिव्स. आई विल समराइज इन 1 डे जस्ट एज अ रिवीजन. वो आपका कंप्लीट रिवीजन में, सो दैट इट विल बी थिंग्स विल बी फ्रेश इन योर माइंड. फॉर्मूलाज आपको मैं करा दूंगी और जो क्वेश्चंस पूछे गए प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन के बेस पे आई विल रिवाइज योर सिलेबस. 2 जो चैप्टर्स हैं 2 टॉपिक्स हैं पोर्टफोलियो एंड डेरिवेटिव, वो मैं करा दूंगी.
थैंक यू मैम।
एंड आशु, बिजनेस वैल्यूएशन एंड मर्जर, ये इसमें नहीं है आपका, ये आपके पार्ट इसमें होगा, 4th पार्ट में है। बिजनेस वैल्यूएशन एंड मर्जर दैट इज इन 4th ग्रुप में है। 4th ग्रुप होगा आपका और FR में होगा। थ्योरी क्वेश्चंस आप करेंगे, राधिका। थ्योरी क्वेश्चंस जो आपको PPT में लिख दिया, ये थ्योरी तो बेसिक थ्योरी है। अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस इफ यू वांट टू स्टडी, आप ये थोड़ा बहुत एक बार रीड आउट कर ले, एक बार पढ़ लेना है। सुंदर एग्जाम में तो अगर आपने एक बार पढ़ा होता है तो आपको एक लाइन को आप 4-5 लाइन खुद ही लिख देते हैं उसमें, तो आपको एक बार रीड कर लेना है। आप रीड करके जाएंगे जो भी है। अगर जो थ्योरी वेटेज बहुत कम है तो थ्योरी पे मैंने ज्यादा फोकस नहीं किया है, पर ट्राई किया है कि आपको सारे थ्योरी कवर कर दूं। फाइनल के स्टूडेंट हैं, आप खुद ही बहुत काफी इंटेलिजेंट होते हैं, सारे थ्योरी आपको बस हिंट मिलना चाहिए, आप खुद पढ़ लेंगे उसको। So just have summarize the theory. So for the next class, we will discuss chapter 5 and question number 15 to 16. Theory, for the theory, if you will see the previous year question number 8, last question is for theory. Last में भी if we will talk about previous examination paper, अभी जो December 2019 कोई भी theory question नहीं था। Even the last question number 8, that was based on practical, उसका भी theory formula based था। theory बहुत कम होता है, ये नहीं कह सकते theory पूछेगा ही नहीं, कम होता है theory। reference, okay, I will see the mock test paper. Reference in the sense what? Radhika, कुछ reference for what? I'm not getting this point. अच्छा, क्या पढ़ना चाहिए? फिलहाल अभी आप क्वेश्चन 15 तक करके आए। नेक्स्ट टाइम we will meet next time till question number 15. Please do these questions, काफी easy है। and for the theory chapter, read the chapter 4. chapter 4 पढ़ लेंगे एक बार, read out, please read out chapter 4 and theory practical question till 15, and next time we will discuss next topic. till then bye. चेतन, next time reference आपको बता दूंगी मैं क्या क्या है एग्जाम, on the basis of exam जो आप पूछ रहे हैं reference we will discuss in 2 more classes. We have 2 additional classes. MTP, yes, I will interpret the MTP. First I will read myself the MTP. अभी मैंने पढ़ा नहीं है, आपको next class के बाद 2 classes में MTP we will discuss. Okay, okay.
मैम उसमें थ्योरी क्वेश्चंस बहुत कम है या नहीं है जहां तक मैंने देखा है?
हाँ, ऐसे फिल्म थ्योरी कम होता है, वेटेज काफी कम है। There is no change in structure of question paper. Question paper के पैटर्न में कोई चेंज नहीं है, ऐसा कहा गया है। तो we expect कि practical questions होंगे ज्यादा। Still I will see the mock test paper. मैंने लिया है रजिस्ट्रेशन नंबर, उसको मैं देखूंगी उसमें कि क्या क्वेश्चन है, किस टाइप के हैं। बट सो फार जो पूछा गया है आज तक उसमें प्रैक्टिकल ही है, थ्योरी बहुत कम है। तो थ्योरी आप एक बार बस रीड कर लेना है, फोकस ऑन द प्रैक्टिकल।
Madam, that question.
सॉरी, हेलो।
मैडम, लोगों का ये कहना है कि ये जो MTP बने हैं ये जल्दी जल्दी में बनाए हैं इन्होंने।
अच्छा,
हाँ, तो बिल्कुल ऐसा नहीं होगा। लोगों का
हाँ,
भी ये तो बहुत ही जल्दी में इन्होंने निकाल दिए हैं,
हाँ,
तो
हाँ,
जरूरी है कि बिल्कुल ऐसा ही एग्जाम में आए।
हाँ, हाँ। हमें तैयारी जो प्रीवियस जो पूछे गए पैटर्न है उसी बेस पे हम लोग तैयारी करेंगे, ठीक है। जो आपका पहले आता रहा है जो पैटर्न, उस बेस पे MTP जस्ट एक बार मैं देख लूंगी उसमें क्या पूछा गया, हमने देखा नहीं है अभी। पर तैयारी आप उसी बेस पे करें जो पिछले प्रीवियस अटेम्प्ट्स में जिस तरीके से क्वेश्चंस आए हैं उसी बेस पे।
Madam, one small doubt, madam.
यस प्लीज है।
Madam, in the question paper, section A is MCQ normal Normal question paper is section A 20 marks, and section B, out of 7 questions we have to answer 5. Totally 100
Section
marks.
B out of 7 for the section B.
No. I am not talking about the weightage. I am talking in the question paper. Section
Yes.
A, that first question, MCQ question is 20 marks. And
Yes,
section B is out of 7, we have to answer 5. Normal pen and
yes,
paper,
yes.
paper based. I am talking about pen and paper based exam. Will the online exam be in the same model?
Yes, that is, we can assume the same thing.
Currently, what I've solved from current scenario in the mock test paper, they have given first question for 10, first part of the question paper for 10 questions, 2 marks each, and rest
2
of the
marks.
6 questions only.
Yes, rest of the questions.
Are
Rest,
6
I
questions.
think,
They have not got to beyond 8 as we were earlier used to solving in pen paper. They have given till 8 only.
yes, out of it, we have to solve, I think,
Oh, sorry,
5
it's 6
questions.
only.
6 questions.
Yes, 6 question.
Out of 6, we have to answer 5. Huh?
I have no idea, Anand bhai. Actually, they have given only 6 questions in the mock test paper. The total number of question in each paper, I have solved only 1, but that is only 6 questions.
Okay, that mock, but overall, I think there are 6 questions, 5 from part B and 1 that is compulsory question in part A.
Exactly, ma'am.
Yes. So part 6 and part B, there are 2 optional questions are there. Last question is theory question, but generally theory question is also based on practical.
They have
The
not
theory-
introduced that in the mock test. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, the mock test paper might be they have not included. We will prepare on the basis of previous structure. तैयारी हम लोग previous जो है syllabus pattern है उस base पे we will prepare on that basis and let's see what happens in exam. उसी base पे आप prepare करें. Mock test paper तो just एक satisfaction के लिए. Yes, please say. Are you saying something? कुछ कह रहे हैं? Anand, I have noted at page number 69, that question number, page number 69, we will discuss in next class. Next class में आपको page number 69 पे जो आपने question कहा था, we will discuss in the first.
No problem.
Okay. Till then, bye.
Ma'am,
We will meet on.
somebody has asked something on chat box. Please see.
Online exam. This online exam is confirmed. Online exam है, confirm है. Any chance को अभी तो फिलहाल कोई chance नजर नहीं आ रहा है online exam होगा. Exam will be online, Ashu.
मैम अनदर थिंग, आपने जो नोट्स भेजे थे शुरू में डेरिवेटिव्स के, कुछ आपके हैंड रिटन सॉल्यूशंस हैं.
Might be some questions are in option valuation model. Yes, I have solved those options.
डेल्टा ब्लैक एंड शूल्स के आपके हैंड रिटन सॉल्यूशंस हैं. उसमें से कुछ ना क्लियर नहीं है. आप एक बार फिर से उसको भेज देंगे. आपने कहा था भेजे.
ठीक है, मैं आपको कल भेज दूंगी. इसमें वो होगा मेरे सिस्टम में, मैं अभी आपको भेज देती हूँ इसमें.
थैंक यू मैम.
ठीक है. Okay, bye. We will meet on next Tuesday. Till then, practice the question 1 to 15. Okay, bye. Thank you.
Good day, ma'am.
Okay.